Alright guys, I'm going to give you a real quick track guide to Red Bull Ring for the Grand National Series in the Gen 6 car. So as we come off of turn 10 here, we're going to go ahead and get to it. We're now on the front straightaway coming to the start-finish line. We're going to stay up to speed, get it up to 4th gear. Going down in the first corner here, I'll start braking at that first white line. You want to attack the corner, get down to the 2nd gear, quickly back on the throttle as we come out to the rumble strip. Follow this straightaway all the way down to what is turn 2, then the right-hander, which is turn 3. It's uphill, very sharp turn. We're going to start braking at the rumble strip all the way down to 1st gear. Kind of a blind corner, very sharp cut, so you're going to be very slow. Go back onto the throttle. Quickly shift to 2nd, and when you work your way through the gears, going to get all the way up to 4th gear before turn 5 up here. Start braking at the rumble strips again. Get down to 2nd gear, cut across this rumble strip, and let the car drift out to the edge. Cut it back down. Feather the throttle through here so it doesn't spin out. Up to 3rd gear now. Going to brake just past the 100 marker. Nice and easy entry here. This is a very slow corner. Jump back to 3rd gear, out to the rumble strips. Back on the brakes. Cut it inside of the rumble strips, and then let the car drift out and just ride those rumble strips as you try to get the car up to speed. Come down here to turns 9 and 10. Start braking at the rumble strips again. Down to 3rd gear. Car drift out. And then at the end of that strip, we're going to get down to 2nd gear, cut it across turn 10, and get back on the throttle all the way out to the start-finish line. My fastest lap was a 133.5, as you see here. But let's go back and let's break down that lap so you guys can see it a little bit better. See what I'm doing here. So let's go to. All right, so as I come in here to turn 1, I'm going to actually change my view here. Let's see that wheel a little bit better. We're going to brake right at that white line that goes across the track, right as it disappears into my hood. I'll start getting on the brakes. Going to go all the way down the 2nd gear, and then we're going to attack this corner with a. We don't want to turn in too late, but you don't want to turn in too early. If you turn in too early, you're gonna drift out into the track limits. If you turn too late, you'll miss the corner entirely. So basically, you start turning in right after this white line here. Make sure you don't hit that yellow turtle. Let the car drift all the way out to the yellow line there, that yellow curb. Start rolling back into the throttle. Quickly up through the gears. Use every little bit of RPM that you got. Then we'll cut across. This is actual turn 3 right here. And then we start braking at that rumble strip for turn 3 up at the top of the hill. So you see right here is about where I'm braking, right at the start of that rumble strip. Real hard on the brakes, all the way down the 1st gear. Very sharp corner. We're going to cut it around. Then you watch my throttle down here on the left, and watch how I'm very easy on it. The car wants to spin the tires, so we're just going to kind of take it easy. If you have to shift up early, that's fine. So come across turn 4, down to turn 5. Again, right at the rumble strip is where we start at brake point. All the way down the 2nd gear. It's tempting to go to 1st here, but there's really no sense because you just spin your tires off the corner. So 2nd gear there. Go into the throttle, and then as we take this long sweeping right-hander, you'll notice I'm backing off the throttle a little bit. That's because it wants to spin the tires, and you don't want to spin the tires here. Otherwise, you're just going to spin out and hit the wall, and that's no good. So very easy on the throttle there. And then about halfway between the 100 and the 50 marker, or just after the 100 marker, you're going to back on the brakes for this left-hander. And you want to be careful not to apex too early here because it's a very long sweeping corner. So the car is going to push really tight right here. So we're not going to turn in until after we pass that 50 marker. You see I'm kind of late entry here, getting it down to the rumble strip. And then I'm in 3rd gear. And I'm going to ease back into the throttle and let the car naturally drift out. And then as I come back up here, I believe this is turn 7. I'm going to brake at the end of this rumble strip. And again, a late apex here. Put the car down to the rumble strip. Ease onto the throttle. Very easy onto the throttle. and then let the car naturally gravitate straight across the second rumble strip. You might have to lift a little bit to keep the car from sliding. That'll take us past turn 8, right down to turn 9. And turn 9, same thing. We're going to use that rumble strip as our braking marker. You can go a little bit past it, but if you're being conservative, you want to brake right at the start of the rumble strip here. Down to third gear. Very easy. And then down to second gear for turn 10. So let's do that again. Okay, so we're going to start braking at this rumble strip. Down to third gear. Right as we hit the apex, we'll ease onto the gas a little bit. Then we're almost immediately back on the brake. It's definitely past the white line here, probably between the white line and the end of the runoff paint here over on the sides. About somewhere halfway in between there is where we're braking. Down to second gear. And then back onto the throttle. You can feather a little bit so you don't spin the tires. And all the way across the start-finish line. All right. Let's actually go take a look at what Daniel did on one of his fast laps here. You'll probably find much of the same. So this is Daniel's fastest lap. Yep, he's braking right at that white line. Coming down, he actually hits that yellow curb a little bit. That's fine. I wouldn't recommend it because it does make you have to take care of the throttle a little bit better. Yeah, he's braking right past that rumble strip. Right there is where he's on the brakes. So right after the beginning of that rumble strip, he's down to first gear. Uses up the whole corner. You notice how he used up every inch of space that he had available to him. Right past the start of the rumble strip, he's braking again. Down to second gear. He's going to cut it across and let the car drift out. He actually did that corner a lot better than I did. He used up all the track, which is good. Same thing, braking right past the 100. A little bit of a late entry here, just like mine. The car come out naturally. Yeah, he used second gear through there. I prefer third. That way you don't get the wheel spin. If you use third gear through here, it's a lot safer and more conservative. But again, using up the rumble strip, letting the car drift out naturally. And then we're going to come down to turn 9 here and brake right there. Down to third gear. Use a little bit of the curb, drift out. And then immediately on the brakes, down to second. I think right there, that's probably the difference between his lap time and mine was that final corner. He ran a 1:33.6, I ran a 1:33.5, and I think he just, I don't know if he maybe entered in a little early here. You see, he's got a little tight right there. So make sure whenever you make your turn in, it's just clear and deliberate. I think he just maybe carried a little bit too much speed, but he lost about a tenth right there. That was the only difference between his lap and mine. Otherwise, pretty much the same exact lap. But yeah, that's how you run the Red Bull Ring. Hopefully this will be helpful to some of you. And look forward to seeing you on Friday.